Hi there, my name is Tom Hitchcock and welcome to my YouTube channel. My idea is so simple. It's really a platform for people to share their story with whoever wants to listen, basically. We have a range of stories. We have people that are relatively unassuming but have miraculous stories for us all to learn and listen to. There's people in society that we cannot get in front of. They have a high station and we are able to speak with them and get that story shared with us all. So please subscribe below so you don't miss out on any of these interviews that we do, and enjoy. Okay, Hugh Hall, the infamous Hugh Hall. Okay, last time I spoke to you, you was a little bit less Gandalf. And
Yeah.
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Just living, another day in paradise. Living living the perpetual dream of, working and kids and everything in between. But yeah, life is life is good. Life is good.
Good. So our paths have crossed a few times now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the audience, whoever's watching this, won't know that. So we can reminisce and we can talk about those things, which is inevitable. But I'd love to know a little bit more about what you're up to right now, because I don't know. We haven't spoken for some time now. So what's happening in your professional career right now? Say.
So I think last time that we spoke was late last year. So I wrapped up some of the consultancy work that I was doing for myself. So I put that on hold to go and spend a bit of time with the family, and then went back and had a really good conversation with our previous employer, the Entourage, and they've sort of brought me back on board to help out with part of their growth services arm, which is pretty cool and exciting. So doing some work there, and building businesses as well, which is really cool. Doing some working on projects on the side, and doing some things for me and the family, which is always good. Trying to keep up with the reading and all the fun books that show up and you want to get stuck into, and just trying to find a nice balance between building out a business unit and working on projects for me and the wife, and spending time with the family and kind of everything in between. So it's been a roller coaster of 12 months, that's for sure. There's lots of change and lots of things happening, but it's now moved into quite a nice flow, and things are super manageable. And yeah, like I said before, life's pretty good. My life's going super well. But yeah, a few changes I think since we last spoke, which I think was it's probably about August, September last year, I think.
Yeah, there has been plenty of changes. I was just thinking there, I was getting tired hearing the element of multitasking and a few different hats that you need to wear for your family life, business life, work life, and so forth. And I was thinking, you're tired out. Your poor dog in the background, but obviously not. She's come
she's woken up. Yeah. No, she's woken up, and she probably she wants to get out now. So it's Murphy's Law. The moment I sit down to do anything, she's like, "No, you need to get up and do stuff for me now."
My one's still sleeping. He's had a little snore there, so I don't know if you heard it. Yeah, he's talking to himself in his sleep. But as soon as he hears this happening, he gets jealous, and you see his little white tail pop up, wagging along. Yeah, doing the same things as that.
I love that. Oh, shit. Yeah.
So, okay, right. So listen. So our paths first crossed via the Entourage, which is a fantastic organisation.
Yeah.
I like the values. I like work that resonated with me. I like that point of difference. And coming from heart. So really, when you're dealing with people's careers and businesses, which is one in the same for me. Okay, but in this case, with the Entourage of businesses, you're really looking at something that someone's taken action on. They put their blood, sweat, tears, money, effort, everything into making something happen, and understand the importance of having someone external to take it from A to B and see what they can't see for themselves. Okay, I really like what they do. So obviously you're at the sales end of things, but I remember
Mm,
um, you were also quite involved with making sure that people had that positive experience throughout their journey. Okay,
yeah.
so with that in mind, is that probably the part of the reason that that mentality, that sort of moral compass that brought you back there?
Yeah. I mean, I got asked. I got asked why I came back, and one of the things that the Entourage is particularly good at creating and facilitating is doing good work with good people. And I think it sounds like it can be a bit of a platitude sometimes, or it can be something that um, I think, especially in the world that we operate, is often overlooked. I think there's a it can just be that simple, and that can be very, very rewarding when you get to do that. When you get to spend time with good quality people, and you're collectively helping, or you're collectively, in working towards a combined vision, and then you get to speak to that to other business owners, and you get to help other business owners go through, I suppose, a very worthwhile journey. Then that's an awesome thing to be a part of. Like that's something that's very, very rewarding. And the ethos of what the Entourage stands for, and what they do, and how they put their members first, and that has always really resonated with me. I've always really enjoyed that. And it's also, it's very, very gratifying to see members come out the other end of the program, in just a much better place, like really nice, in a good position. So that's always a nice thing to see. But yeah, like it was always something that drew me to the place. And Jack, who, as we know, is the founder, and he's moved back in, and he's taking more of a hands-on role with the business now, which is really fun to be a part of. And yeah, it's just a nice place. It's a nice place to be. And do some good things there.
So I think what you said there. So the word privilege is thrown around a little bit loosely, I think, but in this case, to go under the bonnet into the nuts and bolts on businesses is a genuine privilege, because I know
Yeah.
as a business owner, I don't want to share it with anyone. It's no one's business. I will deal with it, and you wear that. But it is a privilege to do it, and that's where that reward comes from, as you said, that it's come out the other side,
Mm.
and to actually have played your part in that journey is where that reward is. But where there's reward, there's also pain. Okay, there's
Yeah.
growing pains, there's self-doubt, there's stress, anxieties, and it's a double-edged sword. So essentially in business, the rewards are potentially much higher than working for someone else, but the downs are much deeper as well.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
now, with that in mind, with the experience of their journey, is that something that you've now experienced firsthand, going out and back in again?
Yeah. I think it's a really good way to kind of articulate what that journey is like, because um like people often underestimate what it is, what it truly means to work for yourself. Like there's especially when you first go out, and you do have these Gideon highs, right? Like when it's all going really well, it's awesome. Like you feel like whatever you can touch will turn to gold. And then when you're in the trenches, like when you're truly in the trenches, like it's hard. Like it's hard work. And when things tend to come in three, right? Like you just tend to get smashed from all angles, which is and sometimes you need to be particularly resilient to deal with that. I suppose you also need a good, healthy dose of self-awareness to understand that the heart. Like, first of all, everything is temporary. Like, just because you're going through the trenches isn't going to last forever. But then the same thing can be said for when it's going really, really well. Like, nothing lasts forever. So just understanding, I suppose, that that's just a moment in time in what you're doing. It's not the whole experience. It's just a moment in time. But yeah, absolutely. Like there are Gideon highs, and there are crushing lows, and then there's the roller coaster that is connecting those two moments in time. So it can be just like super like that. Yeah, and that can be really stressful. Super stressful to manage and deal with. Yeah, it can be a tricky thing.
Okay, all right. So we know the entourage, we know the challenges that you've also experienced firsthand, as well as trying to help others in that same situation. You've got a work-life balance, you've prioritised your family, which I think is commendable and brilliant. But you did mention without detail that you've got some projects that you're working collectively with your family, some side projects.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't leave that ignored. I'm
Mm.
intrigued.
Yeah. So my wife is a serial glitter bomber, and she comes up with a million phenomenal ideas every day, without fail, give or take. And my job is then to go, all right, we've got these really, really good ideas. Which one do we want to do? What's the plan? How are we going to do it? And so a lot of what I do sort of outside of work and outside of what I do is kind of sitting with my wife and working out like what her business plan is going to be, like what activity, and guide her through a few things that she just hasn't experienced before. Like one of the things that super fortunate about what I do is we're in the business education space, so there's always learning, there's always something to refine and tweak and put in place and get better at. So I'm super fortunate position to be able to just kind of regurgitate a lot of that knowledge and a lot of that best practice for her. And we're working on two projects at the moment. One's a longer burn, like one's a big thing. Like we're going through a process of raising some capital for that. And that always takes time. And then the second one is we got a little e-commerce project that she's rolling out right now, which is actually a wonderful. It's a great simple concept in that the kids go to dance, so the family of dancers. Like Jen was a professional ballet dancer. She lived and breathed it before she had children, and then obviously we got put on hold while we had kids. And all like two of our daughters, they go to dance countless times a week. The boys now want to go to dance, so we're doing that. The youngest, who's 2, she's just started dance. She goes to like tiny tots and stuff like that. And there's a family of just so integrated into this dancing world. And one of the things that pretty much everyone was lacking was just a very, very simple but fit for purpose container for hair, for all of the little bits and bobs that you need to do your hair for when you're dancing professionally, or not even professionally, but when you're just dancing in concerts. So all of the hair buns and all the individual little bits. And she's found a really good supplier, and we've just started to build out the drop shipping model for that. And she's got together an absolute godsend of a package that you can create you can buy on a subscription basis. And it's fantastic for anyone who has dancing children and they need their hair done. So it's like this little pocket, this little pouch that you can just carry around with you, and it has absolutely everything you need. So all you need to do is when you run out, you just reorder and a new one shows up, and it solves a massive problem. Like we rolled it out to the local dance school, and it was really well received. Everybody really liked it. So it was just helping her kind of set that up and get that going. Because it's like the first time you go into something and you try and do it yourself, it's always nicer to have somebody just kind of helping you out and helping you go through it. So we're doing a bit of that on the side as well, which is exciting.
Like that.
So, watch this space.
It's a perfect alignment with your passions. So you delving into the hobby side of your life, something that you really like to do, whilst encompassing innovation. Now, innovation doesn't need to be a unicorn. Innovation is a solution for a problem which it doesn't exist yet. you know.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's simple, it's straightforward. I do find, I don't know if you remember this, I did a hypnotherapy course, so I learned how to become a hypnotherapist, and there is someone playing with this, by the way. And one of the big no-nos in hypnotherapy is you don't do it to anybody that you know. Okay, so friends and family, and you don't do it for people that are drunk. And the reason for the drunk is self-explanatory, but the people you know is different, because you need the credibility for them to have the buy-in for this to work, and they're harder to walk through that journey because you have a different relationship with them, more intimate relationship. And the same thing goes when people then, to extend this, you know, say you're trying to teach your kids to drive or something like that, or that's where arguments start. It's very hard to do. Did you find some of that when you were obviously with Mrs. Hall? Okay, trying to teach us some of the nuts and bolts and the frameworks, the EOS framework, I believe you use, for the business, because you've got the idea, you've got the marriage, you've got the kids, and then you're bringing your work into it as well. Did you find a little bit of looking horns there?
Yeah, there's always a level of resistance. Like it's always a funny thing to navigate, because it's, I need the help, but it's like, well, why is that the case? And sometimes you don't have answers. Like sometimes you just don't have answers readily available. You're like, well, this is just what I know will work. Like, and sometimes you can back it up with facts, and sometimes you can't. There's always a little bit of that. There's always a little bit of, not necessarily doubt, but just like a bit of a challenge with the advice. And yeah, absolutely, like that shows up. And you know, Jen is super strong-willed, so like she's a force of nature, which is awesome. Like, she's just, when she goes and does something, she goes and does it. But at the same time, like if she can be super duper stubborn, so sometimes like she'll really dig in, which is funny. But yeah, it is like it's a different experience, obviously, helping your partner to build something like this, because the dynamic is very, very different. And yeah, there is a little bit of locking horns. It's nothing that, you know, that you can't work through or kind of figure out, which is good.
It's that element of
it is absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? It'd be quite interesting. It'd be maybe when it progresses just marginally, is maybe we can do this same conversation, but with Jen, and let her talk through her idea of journey, the other side. It'd be really good for her to get some branding out there, and we'd love to see acorns to oaks. We'd like to see that progression make it happen, and because we've already spoken with yourself, it'd be nice to see the other side, actually.
Yeah, she would absolutely love that. She think I mean, she's super shy, but she's no, she would love to. Her passion is dancing, and you know, see that at every interaction that she has with it, which is amazing. And that's carried through to the kids as well. Like they absolutely adore it, and they adore watching her dance. Yeah, she would think that would be brilliant. They should absolutely love that.
Okay.
So I'll mention it.
Sticking with your spouse now, okay? Did you meet in Bath? And I'm talking the city, Bath.
No. We met here.
Okay.
So we met here on the northern beaches. So we originally met online when I was traveling, and then we met here in Manly, and once, you know, then very quickly started dating after that, and then I think it's within, you know, a matter of months that we ended up moving in together. And you know, 10 years down the track, we're here with, you know, 6 kids and El Puchador, who you can see behind us, and living on the northern beaches, which is a beautiful part of the world to be. But no, we met here. Well, wasn't back in Bath. No, it was here on the beaches.
So,
which is
okay, all right. So those that don't know, our other conjoinment is the beautiful city of Bath, and Bath is a place that really resonates with me. Okay, so I don't know if I told you the story, but I think I was maybe 8 years old, maybe.
Yep.
My family went on holiday to Bath. I was walking down Milsom Street, right down by where the baths are, and I had this sort of reflection moment. I thought, you know what, I really wouldn't mind coming here as an adult and going to university. What 8-year-old thinks this stuff? That's just weird.
Yeah.
It's odd, but I remember the moment really clearly, and it's really strange that moment came to fruition. So I ended up spending 4 years in Bath, and doing quite well for myself. I was running all these little nightclubs, nights for students. Obviously, I've got my degree, which eventually got me into Australia and what have you. And I've got a massive fondness for the place. And I was back there, as you know, a couple of years ago, and for me, it was the fix I needed for the UK, which was missing here. It's just that extra level of history. Every corner you turn, there's another sort of sandstony street with some quirk and what have you. And I really miss that. And I remember taking a photo of one of our mutual haunts. What was it called? The pub. I forgot it. What's it called? The one that you sent me to near the Hilton.
The Pig and Fiddle.
Yes, the Pig and Fiddle.
Yeah,
it's very different how I remembered it, but still very good. But for me, I actually put Bath on that much of a pedestal. I'd have it on people's bucket lists. You know, if you go in the UK, tick that city off whilst you're there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, like Bath and the Cotswolds. It's a wonderful part of the world, and there's some fantastic things to see there. Like just even the basics, like going to the Crescent, going to the Square, like obviously visiting the baths and the Aquasulis. Like all of that is just phenomenal. Like it's such an insanely diverse city from a historical perspective. Like there's so many. Obviously, you've got the Roman heritage there, but then you've also got obviously the more modern Catholic architecture that's there. Then you've got a lot of the Georgian architecture that's there, and there's even some Edwardian in there, some Victorian. And one of the awesome things about it is like Bath is a nationally listed city, which means that most of the buildings there are protected. You can't knock them down. Like you can't edit. You can't actually touch them from a construction perspective. So you have all of these really cool old buildings, and there's actually a few that are down towards it's coming out towards town, but they still have the scarring from the shelling in World War II. Like they weren't even allowed to repair the damage that was done from when the German bombing raids came over. So you can still see that to this day. Like you've got these massive holes in the walls where obviously the shrapnel was hitting and doing damage. So it's it's an amazing place. Like it's super cool. What are all of these like really cool old pubs as well that you can go into, and timber frames, and they've been there 100 years. And, it's just an amazing place. Like it's just a really, really cool place to go.
Yeah. You're talking my language there. It's I want to go back there soon.
Yeah.
But I like my facts of the day, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I've got a fact of the day for you, which relates to Bath. You made me think of it. You cut. What was it? Have you heard of the term "can't see the wood for the trees"?
Yep.
Good. And you're aware that's the term from Bath?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that was a Bathism. No, that's amazing.
You'll be able to picture this. So you got Queen Square.
Yep.
Big monument in the middle and what have you. So that was built before the Royal Crescent. And the top end, the north side, is the posher buildings, if you like, the monumental buildings. And what they've done in that square is they planted a load of trees as well. When they went to stand there to look at it, they couldn't because of the trees, and the architect for most of Bath, as we know it, is John Wood.
Yeah,
can't see the wood for the trees. So Royal Crescent without all the trees in the way.
Yeah. No, I love that. I didn't realize that's where the saying came from. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really good.
Okay, all right. And there isn't too much more that I've got to cover off here. I've really enjoyed listening to your updates. What's happening with Jen, reminiscing about Bath. I do have one thing for you. Do you remember our very first Friday together? What did we do? What was our activity?
Did we do the painting?
Yes.
Yes, we did that. Yeah, we did the painting. Yeah.
Yes. So we
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
a West Ham sloth.
That's right. We did. Yes.
Well, I've got
Yeah.
a question for you. I stole it.
Oh, did you? Did you
Yes.
take
Morello and I, we
it?
had some sherbets for
Yeah.
Romeo's birthday, I believe. We ended
Yeah.
up in the office, and they're all sitting there doing nothing. And I
Yeah.
thought, I'm having that. Now I've had some sherbets.
Yeah.
And it's
Really cool.
hung proudly in my son's bedroom.
Yeah. That is brilliant. I love that you still have that, because that is that was hilarious. They're trying to get a bunch of rowdy people to to paint. It was great exercise, like very, very fun. But I'm glad that you still have it. I'm glad that you've got it. It's good.
Yeah.
Good home.
It felt like an honest steal, because it was going to be,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it may end up in a skip a few years down the line from being cluttering up the office. I figured, no. Let's just.
Nah, I'll take it home. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Good
All
for
right,
you.
listen,
Yeah, good on
thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. If there's
you.
if people want to reach out to you, where would you best be found?
The best place to track me down is going to be LinkedIn. So that's just LinkedIn /Hugh Hall. So just duck on there, come say hi, don't be shy. And all of my other contact info is on there. So that's really the best place to kind of reach out to me. And I periodically check it. So if you do want to reach out and you want to have a chat, obviously you're welcome to do. But if I don't get back to you straight away, that's why. Okay, I'll check it out every so often. But yeah. Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much for having me on, and it's good to see you again. It's good to catch up and just have a quick chat and kind of get across each other's world again. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Hugh.
Awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
And thank you for watching this episode. I hope that you did enjoy it, had lots of takeaways from it. As before, please subscribe below so you can keep on top of any new releases we have. And also, if you would like to have your story told, just reach out with me and I'd love to give you that platform. My best email address is tom@purplepatchconsulting.com. Thank you.